How y'all doing tonight? Thank you. Always one of my favorite nights of the month, and I'm super excited. Yeah, absolutely. I love that conversation we had, really, the three of us, of how meaningful just kind of resetting and coming together in community can be. And the feature today is one of the first features, maybe the fifth, I don't know, fourth, fifth, one of them back when we started this in 2022, I think. I've known today's feature for going on 6 years, I believe. We connected first online. I saw some amazing stuff. I reached out. I still am doing this online poetry video collection. And I was like, would you? And right from the very first, and now I've gotten the chance to clothing shop with you and go to film festivals with you and hear lots and lots of amazing work. And I'm really excited to bring our feature today. We'll also have an open mic. I think I've asked everyone in the room. I know a couple of you were still deciding, but the list is over there. There'll be a chance to share your voice, and we'd love to hear that as well. But yeah, let's get this started in style. Please welcome to the mic, Belle Freeman!
Hi.
Hi.
Sometimes at night, I shriek like a pig, aware that it's staring into the eyes of death, but not that it's here because the grease of its fried flesh is meant to suffocate some poor man's arteries. I ask myself whose suffering my suffering will be the catalyst of, if they'll choose it for themselves like the dead arteried man, if they'd swallow me whole when presented with my body, or cut it in strips. You know what's really crazy about that poem is that I do not shriek like a pig at night. Like, that's so but I don't know why. I was falling asleep, and then I was like, you know what, I should write down sometimes at night I shriek like a pig. No, I don't. Why did I say that?
You do now. We got video proof.
You admitted it.
Canon now.
Most of my poetry, to some extent, does come from real life and just the weird things that people feel the need to say to me, you know? I did one of my poems once, and this woman, no, it was a man. He walks up to me and he says, "Your poetry was phenomenal." And I said, "Thank you." And he said, "I was beaten as a child." I said, "Oh no." I'm sorry. That has nothing to. Okay. I also have had a lot of people that have heard my poetry. You know, some of my poetry gets a little political at times, and I've had a lot of people reach out to me after political things happen to just randomly say political things to me. Like one woman was like, "I apologize on behalf of white women for the election of Donald Trump." And I said, "Thank you."
Standard reply.
Appreciate that. Another one of my favorites is just, I love black people. I love black people. Because you know what it makes me think of? It's like when people say they love candles, but they really mean they love the way candles smell when they're burning. Find some sick, excited peace in watching the body of the candle break down under the weight of itself. You love candles. When they burn, their scents are so strong. Their light is so illuminating. Watching the flame flick over the wick is so exciting. There's nothing better than the way the flame beats at the candle, right? Leaves no choice but to soften, liquefy, bend over, surrender. You love candles. I've seen you weeping over a candle burning out for the last time. A puddle, a burning nub of a wick. So sad to see a candle gone, but not sad enough to reach down and snuff out the flame because the flame was what made it so beautiful in the first place, right? You love candles. You could breathe in the smoke of their burning bodies all day. You love candles, so you buy another. And you light another. And another. And you consume. And consume. And consume. And we burn. And we melt. And we burn. And we melt, and we burn, and we melt, and repeat.
Damn.
Oh my God, you guys are so sweet. Oh, that's nice. I had this writing phase where all of my poems started with like a moment in history, and I hadn't done that in a really long time until I wrote this most recent poem that I'm about to read right now. So it's just like, because I used to like randomly start all my poems with like something like in 1852, which is how this in 1852, Joseph Trammell, having been freshly freed from slavery, was registered as a free man and handed his freedom papers. Trammell's description was at the top of the page. A man of dark complexion, 20 and year of age, 5 feet 4 inches high. Said man has a small scar in the forehead and one on his left arm, 6 or 8 inches above the wrist. The year, a county registration number, and of course written proof of a white man's oath of Trammell's right to be free. If at any time he was caught without these papers, he was subject to be captured and thrown back into enslavement. So I was in bed watching the Grammys, waiting for the Grammys to start, when a short segment on 60 Minutes about Trammell's freedom papers, now displayed in a museum, showed images of the handcrafted tin wallet that his papers were carried in to protect them from sweat, rain, wind, racist, or whatever else. My first thought, of course, was that my little disorganized self would have surely lost my freedom papers if I'd ever been forced to carry any. I was the kid in school who handed in crumpled homework with rainwater dripping from the corners, doodles, food stains, creases, papers falling off my person like shedding hairs when I walked down the hall. Freedom papers had to be renewed every 2 years. My ID has to be renewed every 4 years, and for no good reason. It is sitting in my wallet, expired like moldy cheese. Joseph Trammell would have been so mad at me. I kept laughing to myself about this while I watched the awards. Every young celebrity winner saying something about ice before setting their golden trophies down at their table. Ice out pins on hand-tailored, one-wear $1,000 gowns and suits, while American citizens sit in detention centers. It seems, even with computers and laminated IDs, freedom is still as thin and flimsy as a sheet of paper, and as fleeting as America's own memory of her history. If you're legal here, you shouldn't mind carrying proof, they said to Trammell. The ones demanding to see papers are never on the right side of history. There was this book I was reading in college, and it was called The N-Word, Who Can Say It, Who Shouldn't, and Why. And I did not finish the book. Okay, I was reading the book, and I was like, this is really interesting. And then it got to this part where there was this quote, and I was like, dang, I really like this quote, you know what I mean? And then I stopped reading the book. And then I Googled the person that said the quote. His name was Henry Watson, okay? I Googled Henry Watson. I found his entire memoir. And I started reading it. And I did not finish his memoir because I found this quote. Sorry, this is a ridiculous story. I found this quote, stopped reading the memoir, and wrote the quote down. He said, "There are men who do nothing else but hunt fugitive slaves with hounds, who are so well trained that they do, as they advertise, take slaves without scarring them enough to injure their value." Did you hear that last bit? Enough to injure their value. That part got to me. Because they must have had some damn good dog trainers for their time. If they could train a dog not to rip off nimble, cotton-picking fingers. And they could train a dog to know how much force is enough. And they could train a dog not to kill a man just because the future of a country is packed on his shoulders. It's funny. They could train a hound not to suck the value from a slave. Yet we can't stop a man in uniform from pressing his knee into throats, punching the beauty out of faces, firing bullets into craniums in front of small children, and basically destroying any speck of value that could be left in the bodies of the young, emancipated, liberated Black lives that matter just as much as the white or the blue. I guess we've stopped training our hounds. Or maybe we just need to retrain their snouts. They might be following the wrong scent. Don't know what they're looking for. Don't know they ain't still catching runaways. Don't know yet that we've discovered value outside of the nimble, cotton-picking fingers. I think we should retrain our hounds, but ain't it hard to teach an old dog new tricks? I mean, after all, the one that got Philando Castile was 29. And that's a hell of a lot in dog years.
Yeah. Woo.
You guys are very nice. Okay, I'm gonna do one more, and then I'm gonna go away, and then I'm gonna come back.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure? Everyone look at Keith.
So Keith.
Hey, y'all.
See how we all knew who Keith was? He's so famous. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Sorry, sometimes I just start poems, but I never let myself do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just be like, Anyway. Thank you guys. History repeats itself like water. Water repeats itself like history. We learn in school that water holds on to a distant past. That we're drinking the same water from decades or even centuries ago. Meaning, the water raining down on us today is the same water that left all those people without a place to go after Katrina. The same water in the rivers the Underground Railroad followed to freedom. The same water in the rivers the Negro speaks of. The same water we wash our curls in. The same water we wade in, that God troubled. The same water left rusted and indigestible in Flint's pipes. The same water they found Emmett Till in. The water in the hoses they sprayed us with is the same water that caught us when we jumped ship and held us tight until nothing hurt anymore and buried us where no one could find us again. This dirty water, this muddy water, this bloody water, guilty water, filthy water. Water repeats itself like history, and history repeats itself like water. We learn in school that history holds on to a distant past that we're living the same history from decades or even centuries ago, meaning the history coming down on us today is the same history that left all those people without a place to go after Katrina. The same history in the rivers the Underground Railroad followed to freedom. The same history in the rivers the Negro speaks of. The same history we wash our curls in. The same history we wade in, that God troubled. The same history left rusted and indigestible in Flint's pipes. The same history they found Emmett Till in. The history in the hoses they sprayed us with is the same history that caught us when we jumped ship and held us tight until nothing hurt anymore and buried us where no one could find us again. This dirty history, this muddy history, this bloody history, guilty history, filthy history. History repeats itself like water, and water repeats itself like history. Thank you.
Yeah.
I will be back later, so don't leave. Unless you don't like me. Thank you. Whoa.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
How you doing?
That's how you make people say.
Give it up again for Belle Freeman. Fantastic.
Yeah, I had
Oh my God, it's Keith!
What? I know him.
we all know that guy.
I appreciate that. I will start off with an apology to the regulars because for a number of months in a row, I baked cookies every time.
You did not forget.
Well,
I believe it.
I know. So, and for those who are not normally here, I apologize. So, I was speaking at the University of Akron School of Law today, and I knew I was going to leave early, and then I was going to go from there. I'm already in Akron. I'm not going to drive home and come to. So I was like, I can make the cookies last night. Like, no, I'm going to make it in the morning. But then I get up and I'm like working, and then I'm about to walk out the door when I need to go to get to the speech on time. I didn't make cookies. So, my apologies. I know. I will try to do better for next month. But we are going to go through some open mic here. We've got a lot of great folks on the open mic. I'm excited. Some regulars, some newcomers, some folks who've not been here in a while, some folks who've been in the building but not on this mic yet. So yeah, let's get some folks to the open mic. 2 poems or less, unless you're at Amann. And I've got special rules. But otherwise, let's keep it to 2 poems or less. Keep the mic moving. Bring that energy like you were doing for Raja. Keep that going. The more energy you put out, the more energy that poet can give back to you. We're going to start the open mic off with one of the very first features of the event, one of the inspirations of why this event exists. Please welcome to the mic, Theresa Brightman!
Hi everybody, happy Poetry Month.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read a piece. I think Keith and Ed have heard this, but I don't think anybody else in the room has.
All right.
This is called Assignment. As the body politic decomposes, as a body does, as all bodies do, tendons cut, releasing muscle from bone, a flailing habeas corpus, a skunk dance highway screaming into sweet, heavy despair. As digital laudanum poking stigmata holes through articles and amendments sloughs the dermis of a nation held together with eyelashes and cracking sheepskin, with libraries and organs and universities liquefying. As the cracks exposed in due process bones show breaks that healed and broke and healed and broke and did not heal as evidence of advanced society that stopped advancing. As words become crime and children become crime and food becomes weapon and men who hurt children become kings and crime becomes a gilded throne, as stone-cut empires nullify into brittle hair and rigor mortis wars, hymnal choirs turn to tinnitus drilling, beetle boreholes through skulls. Be a mushroom. Be an organism neither animal nor plant, feeding on the debris of something once alive. Be a mushroom and not some boring, tasteless white button. Be gills and caps and curling fans. Be stripes and colors. Be teeth and complex sponges. Convert that which is dead and dying by intention and kleptocracy and neglect into something nourishing, rich and full of flavor. Adorn yourself on the surface to signal danger should anyone try to harm you, and send your thoughts deep into the darkness. Communicate across barriers, connecting those once opposed into a unified network of mutual support. Be a mushroom. And when you have saturated your immediate surroundings, built a foundation for strong and healthy, diverse ecosystem, and fulfilled your purpose as a conduit for nutrition and health and information and love and hope, defense and strength and healing, news and spirituality and oneness, then you must still be a mushroom. Release to the wind all the best parts of yourself. Stretch your fruits into places yet unhealed. Drop spores where there is need for the medicine you already built. Share your boon from the gods and be a mushroom.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks. And just because Keith said I should, for National Poetry Month, I am doing a 30-day writing workshop online. It's $30, but you get to keep all the exercises and worksheets as long as you want. You can start anytime. There's no need to catch up or anything. So if you are so inclined and interested, you are welcome. Come talk to me. And thank you.
Yeah. Give it up for Theresa Brightman. Is that homemade too?
Yes.
Makes all kinds of amazing crafts too, as well as poems. Next to the mic to show you why he can do 3 poems. You can clock it. Please welcome Amann.
All right. Allegiance. All the things that matter, all the things that don't. You tell me things that I must do, I tell you that I won't. Pledge allegiance to that man while he breaks the golden rule and hurts folks who have done no harm. You must think that I'm a fool. My allegiance is the rule of law that no man can be above. It is law that keeps the golden rule and joins us all to love. And how many of us have been in this? Shiny objects. All the shiny objects pull my focus far away. Things I should be doing, waiting for another day. The harder that I concentrate, the more likely that I'll fall. The shiny objects make it so I can't do anything at all. Our wayward child. The USA is our wayward child, conceived in love for all people, growing up feral and wild, far from the parents' vision. The USA is our wayward child. It has done some wrong, hurt those who it should have protected, stole from the original residents. The USA is our wayward child, but it is still deserving of love, but also disciplined to grow strong and true, to become what it was meant to be. The USA is our wayward child. It is up to us to teach it right from wrong, to guide it with love and care, and ensure that it survives. Oh. Last one. Another night I try to write the amazing things that are. A vein of leaf, the morning sun, you don't have to look so far. The sway of trees in April's breeze, flowers springing from the ground. Clouds across the width of sky are among the things I've found. These images and so much more enhance these living days. A balance to the man-made news, cashing in on our worst ways. And as always, I remind you, I'm really a musician. I will be here May 23rd at 5:30. You can find me online at www.edmanwalking.com or at Instagram, edmanwalking.
Woo, that's new. Give it a Fred on in. Next to the mic, we have, I don't know how long you've been a regular now. Like you came with Scott Woods. That was the first and have been a regular since. I'm so glad you are. A resident of a new home in the area too. Please give it up for Sara Jane.
I like your outfit. Thank you so much. Well, your poems. Okay, I think some people in here might have heard these, but
That's all right.
not me. Thank you. I wrote a series of poems that were like love letters from abusers to me. So the first one's called Love Letter from a Cloud. Palm the dirt and know that I have gifted you this drought. This crusting over of earth my hardened heart offered through loose fingers. The only gesture I know how to make is empty. Is a floodless summer where spring blooms wilt in the dry air. Shade is a roof I can only prop up on occasion until the rain becomes too much burden to ignore. I'm so full of pleasing, so pent up with aversion. The sky breaks when I tense at your love and love. I've cracked and torn for less. Do not fear the darkened sky. It's the only way I know to ask forgiveness for my inability to follow through, to keep the plants alive, myself aloft. What weighs us down is not the rain, rather the will to breathe and fill when breath and full are two of everything I wish we did not have in common. I'm writing from a place where the soil is hot, where the ground tills itself without prompting, shows promise in spite of my impending fits. I am writing from a new, parched place to ruin.
Yeah.
This is Love Letter from the Rain to a House. I am making a scene against your window, washing hardened grit down your gutters, carving room for more of myself. All these wet shards I have gathered, a gesture of good faith flooding. I want you to wear this muddy carpet like a party dress, or a trashed pair of canvas shoes in the back of your closet. I want your foundation to bubble, to waver and harden when I have had my fill of pouring and pouring over. Sometimes the summers get so hot I forget that there is work to do. Homes to treat to and with my heavy hand. And I will dance like we are 17 and not in love, and you will sway like the rain does not run your mascara. Stocking, sprint drenched from each drop, a piecemeal storm, an offering of every bit of myself squeezed from a cloud I broke open in hopes that I could hide you inside.
Yeah. Give it up one more time for Sara Jane. Next to the mic, we have someone who has not been here in a minute. I am so glad you are back. Please welcome Heather Brazil.
Hi, folks.
Hey.
I brought this poem before, but I read it out of my journal, and I was so proud of myself because I memorized it, and I want you guys to hear it this way.
Yeah.
But I wanted to introduce it to you a little bit first and let you know that it's about Akron. And I wrote it originally as a poem that I wanted people of Akron to understand. And maybe other people too.
Less important.
but mostly people from Akron. So, this city has walls no one sees, with doorways and lost keys and locked locks like me, myself, and lock 3. City of songs and of angels singing. City of songs and of angels singing. 100 seasons and 100 myriad reasons are ringing in my ears. City on dead secret city. Boarded windows, hidden walls, downtown doorways, and unseen footfalls. Unseen footfalls. I know why they call it Maiden Lane, but I won't tell you because dance won't look the same. Things to say, things not to say. There's a secret language in the city where I stay. Who do you know? Which way does the wind blow? Nothing didn't happen here so many good years ago. Every year never changes, not the markets or exchanges. Nothing didn't happen here so many good years ago. Akron's graffiti screams into the ever-present now. Yesteryear is useless and rotting on the bough. I want to leave her better somehow. Akron's got heart, Akron's got grit, Akron's got art, Akron's got wit. Akron's got AA from the start. It doesn't matter where I go, I'll always come home to the 330.
Yeah. All right.
I'm also looking for, I'm looking to add to this poem, so if you guys have suggestions on things that I want to talk about that I didn't bring up in this so far,
Yeah.
please come and tell me. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
All right, let's give it up one more time for Heather Brazil. I am so delighted to see every face in this room tonight. There was one that surprised me the most when she walked in the door, and partly because she was a Cleveland poet who I got to know a number of years ago, and then left us and moved down to Columbus. And so you don't just expect them walking in the door. We have made a video here in this building together of one of my favorite of your pieces, and I'm so excited you're in the building tonight. Please welcome to the mic, Lady Poet!
It's been forever, yeah. I haven't been on a mic in like 2 years or something like that. So, give me a little bit of grace.
Absolutely.
I had to find a poem to even do on my phone. I just popped up on Keith because he's good people, and I was in the area. I'm like, he has this open mic on Wednesdays, and I don't ever get to come, so let me come visit and see how it is. So, hope you guys like this poem that I just randomly found. All right. Too eclectic for an intro, too versatile for a niche, too creative for a lane, too outside of the box for a category. Spoken word artist, poet, two-time self-published author, entrepreneur, solo art creator. And these things don't even define me fully. I use these things as a tool to express in every possible way an emotion, a feeling, a thought, something that's pulling me to stay here. Because many, many times I wanted to leave. I found reasons to still be here. The trauma of situations from generations seemed to land on me and stayed on my back. And that shit feels heavy. I've always known I'm a generational curse breaker. All that toxic shit ended with me. So I can heal my family. Break a cycle of what we're used to and show them that there's a solution to all this inherited depression and anxiety. At times, I'm too introverted to express things clearly, but I use my other art forms to help me. So if you're wondering about my emotions, about my mental status, about how I feel and how I'm dealing with them, just look at my art forms. It tells a story of how my soul is art. This was embedded in me into my heart so deep, my soul can't move forward without it. A style so unique that when you see it, you can recognize it's me. Lady Poet definitely had her hands in that, but most importantly, Tierra inspired it to be so. You see, although I separate the two, they are both me. I use Lady as an avenue for acceptance, to share fear from my soul, to connect with community, to stand in front of people and have them recognize a heart they also have, to see pain in a poem, but to see healing with the ending. This isn't pretending. I've never ever wanted to be anyone other than Tierra, a free creative. I've created avenues, I've been afforded opportunities by both names, but I never ever wanted to be anyone other than Tierra. Most of you know me as Lady or Lady Poet, but I've always been the mastermind behind the mask. A mask for good reason. A mask as a way to connect. A mask that's been iconic nonetheless. A mask that's cherished and loved by many who know me deeply, but also a mask that intimidates some and others see as competition. When there's never been any real competition coming from me, I've always been a ray of love and peace. I've always wanted to just give that. But this society will pin you against each other and grab the attention of audiences for gossip, for entertainment, for whatever negative notion that consumes them. I've only ever wanted to join hands with community and strengthen it with people who are like me. Introverted but extroverted in the right rooms and spaces. Show our faces and present our gifts. Standing amongst so many extroverted personalities can be tough for us to completely unshell. And we're learning, you know. Yeah, well, it takes us a little longer, you know, sometimes. We may not ever really get there because our plateau is at a lower reach. And that's okay. At times, that's where we feel accomplished enough to speak on them. We have a desire for more, but to completely break out of our shell is a never-ending task. And we never get a break from it. It's draining to keep up appearances. I can go on and on about being an introvert and living in an extroverted world. But I'll leave this poem on a good note, a positive one, and encourage you to rise above your fears and worries. Express your emotions because the light behind the darkness is beautiful. Follow your heart. Your dreams are there on purpose. And aside from that, with this poem, I hope you understood who Tiara is and why Lady speaks for her. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like I said, it's been forever since I've been on this mic. Lady Poet, like, it's been around for quite a while, like performing everywhere. Like he said, I did a poem here in the theater back there, like, I don't know, 3 years ago, 4 years ago maybe.
Like that. Yeah.
But I'm creating a new avenue because there's more to me than just poetry. Like, I made this outfit that I have on right now. I paint, I can play the keyboard, I can do a lot of things, and I just want to be free of just being known as a poet. So I created a new IG. If you guys love what I'm rocking with and you want to rock with me, my new IG is called Free Creative, and I don't think I need to spell that for anybody. But if you feel so inclined to follow me, I would appreciate it. And yeah, let's build community.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, T. Give it up for Lady Poet. Yeah, all kinds of differences of how often we get on the mic. With people here every time and jumping on the mic constantly. Some of us who jump on the mic more comfortably with a guitar. Both of y'all. But some of us haven't been on a couple years. Some of us who might be coming up for the first time ever tonight. We also had someone who's coming to the stage next who came and was sitting back and listening for quite a while and has been more recently coming up to the mic. And part of, I think, what makes all of this happen, what makes what we were talking about earlier, is just how supportive this community is, how much we like hearing different voices and whatever you might bring. So please welcome to the mic, Paula Maggio!
Yeah, so I'm that person that used to come all the time and never came up to the mic.
Yeah.
No, I started writing poetry when I was, just some young teenager who didn't know what she was talking about. But anyway, I've got 2 poems tonight. And one is serious, and one might sound serious, but it's really not. So I'm going to start with the serious one, so we leave on a happier note. Here's the serious one. When once you knew me, you lash out in anger because you, tall, grown, think you know me, but you don't. You know only what you see, and your eyes, a man's eyes, are clear, blue, but not wide open. They were once, one Sunday, so sunny, when you, blanket bundled, tiny, fresh, lying heart to heart, first looked at me, and I was all you knew.
Yeah.
This one's called A Feast of My Own. So I'm a big fan of Virginia Woolf, and you probably all know she wrote a feminist polemic called A Room of One's Own. So anyway, a feast of my own. In the beginning, you laid a feast before me, full, delicious, vast, endless, plentiful, lips sugar sweet, embraces liquid honey, bodies full and satisfied as only a love feast can make them. In the beginning, you laid a feast before me, words whispered, hours shared, stories told, to nourish me, sustain me, as only a love feast can do. In the beginning, you laid a feast before me, or so I thought, but it was just the usual love bomb on Fantasy Island. My head floating in the clouds before landing on Earth once again to lay out my own solitary feast.
So glad you're coming up to the mic now.
Yeah.
Give it up for Paula Maggio. Is it okay if I announce? This is your first time, you said, right?
No, don't tell anyone.
Okay, I'm not going to tell anybody that, okay? Next up, very experienced on the mic here every month, dropping lines. Please welcome Mike Noelle!
Okay. So it's not my first time on a mic. I'm usually, and I'm an activist. I also write marketing copy, and but I was here for the first time last month, and I was very inspired. I cried, I laughed, and I realized it has been so long since I've written anything just for me. So I went into my files and dug some things out, and I'm going to read you something I wrote in 2009 on MySpace.
Tell me what you're
This is
saying.
true.
Yeah.
And this was something I wrote after my mother visited me when I was living in Phoenix. Great Aunt Mary's ophthalmologist's wife's aunt is somehow related to Michelle Obama. And they are going to the inauguration today. I have heard that story at least 7 times in the last 72 hours. And each time I nod my head and pretend to marvel that, wow, we know someone who knows someone who knows someone who is related to someone who I have lost track of the degrees of separation. In the last 72 hours, I have answered at least 7 times, I don't know what time the Today Show comes on. Or the other 17 shows she asks me about. I don't watch TV, I say, for what feels like the 70th time. And I look it up. And she snaps at me, because that's what she does. And she says, you're repeating yourself. She knows I don't watch TV. And I think, why do you keep asking me? But the next time she tells me about Aunt Mary's ophthalmologist's wife's aunt something or other, I will just nod and marvel and say, wow, that's amazing. We know someone who knows someone who knows someone who's going to the inauguration.
Also, one of the, if not the organizational forces behind protests that just happened here in Akron. Thanks for all you do. Give it up for Noelle. Next up to the open mic, author of the new chapbook, Case Study of a Lake Fire. Please welcome former feature here, TaJuan, sKai.
Hi everyone. Happy Poetry Month.
You're already doing it, man.
Yeah, it's like
you're already leaning down if I lean the mic too low.
So with all my life, I'm trying to be a really good poet, you know, like, and so I've have this reputation, built this reputation of writing long poems, which are my favorite types of poems. However, I'm trying to start this new series of sonnets, which are short poems, 14-line poems, with other sort of rules and regulations like iambic pentameter and a volta, things that aren't going to be in this poem that I'm about to share with you. But I'm still calling it a sonnet because it is 14 lines and I'm trying to be a good poet. I'm going to read that one, and I'm going to read another one that's a little bit longer, so you get, my usual. It's in case study. Some edits, but it's called, we'll talk about it. The first poem is just titled Folkestone Sonnet 1. Halo rings and angel wings in unfamiliar languages. Unbandaged thing, the longing, unlike any known number. The numbness and the prostitute talk oranges and anguishes. Nobody remembers my name. Nobody remembers last summer. Heaven blue skies for the friend that couldn't be safe. Unchanging evergreen, pocketbook of prayers. Walk through me like epiphany. Make room for more flowers in the vase. And an incense to burn. A call to all heroes. Smoke esoteric in the air. For I was the friend that couldn't be saved. Go figure. Ongoing pangs, the longing unlike any known Bhagavan. Useless silence, infantile screams for life. The poet's bruised fingers, and the lingering taste of ash. The stoners phoenix their bonds. I'll admit, I love to start fires that leave with the wet wind. Ticonderoga, it's been many moons now. How are you again? Thank you. The idea is I'm trying to get closer to God, but also get closer to my inner child. So I'm in two different spheres of time, trying to ping pong. That's the idea of these Folkestone sonnets. Folkestone was the street I grew up on. So expect more of these over the next coming months. But for now, I don't know who's all familiar with the scorched earth tactic. Anyone? I hope. Some people. That's good. That's good. It was something the Russians did back in Napoleon times and also in World War II. Yes. It's basically when they're on their back foot, basically when they're faced upon an enemy force that they cannot fully handle. You know what the Russians did? They burned everything. They burned everything imaginable and sunk deeper into the Russian winter that they were prepared for, however their enemies were not. And it was so interesting to me learning that in school, how you can burn everything you love, burn your possessions, burn everything you know, and still come out victorious on the other side. I know loss, and I prepared to share a poem next month with you that proves that I know loss very well, but for now, I just want to win. Just to have a little bit of a win. So here is my poem, Scorched Earth Catharsis. Burn the
Rewind.
Burn the poetry, burn the prayers. My God doesn't speak English. So who am I speaking to anymore? Without company, without solace, in complete silence. I am sin. I am sun. I wanted sun and never met my wings. Power, power, powerlessness. I am no Lazarus. but am mostly ghosts.
Damn the timing.
I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Uh-oh. So ghosts may speak English, but they will never love you in the ways you want. Want starts wars. We all know this. And all I ever wanted was his love. Fast forward, everything else a flood of flames. Imagine that. I mean, there I was, oversaturated, overstimulated, overdosing in the back of the police car, in the city with apologetic stars, rushing through my life like there were medals at the end. A welcoming, a crowd. Truthfully, maybe there are, but not for teenage suicide, not for generational heartbreak. I need to smoke less, but there is a father in this withering. There is indica in these line breaks. I am malfunctioning fireworks masquerading as parade. Burn the right lung. Burn the American want. In complete silence, we cannot canopy the hunger in the Congo. Gauze the people of Gaza. Melt the ice that militias the march, that the red caps dare call soil of sovereignty, as if we couldn't cite subtlety, and still they shout, Jesus died for this. This is bullshit. This language is atheist. I'm becoming less of a child and more culpable, yet incapable from the gravity of my kindergarten grief. I am trapped in rooms with white mouths, with too many opinions on melanin melancholia, but I promise no more holes in the walls. I shoved my violence into the corner, shoveled its grave, knees in the gravel, groveling at its tomb, but time still wouldn't bring the boy to forgive me. He wanted me dead, and I empathized with him. It's a funny thing, want starts wars, we all know this, and all I ever wanted was everything. Fast forward, his love was a flood of flames. Imagine that. I mean, I swallowed so many pills. I swallowed too many pills that any apology in any language would never satisfy. Queer was a fantasy, a mysticism my father's religion taught as hellfire. So I'm sorry, I wanted to love you. I'm sorry I started this war. If my God doesn't speak English, if my life has been one long enjambment of a January snowfall I could not avoid, leaving me breathless, featherless, fatherless throughout puberty, bruising my piety, bringing me poetry, but if the sKai is even listening, then these words are a sacrilegious reach for the vertebrae, for the verb that will remind me of my wings. I am warrior. I have survived myself for many moons now, because no mother should have to ash their son. So after all these battles lost, alone in my world of want and flames, I laugh without walls. Stepping towards change, towards my body, saving a child, becoming the sunrise, to tell all the hurt in the world. I see you. Look at what therapy has done to me. Thank you.
Yeah. Give it up one more time. Come on, sKai. And the coordination with the lighting was very impressive. We've got a few more to go. How y'all feeling? Excellent. Next up to the mic, a regular, but I don't think you've come up and been on the mic before now. So I think this is first time at this event. Please welcome to the mic, Betsy.
I asked Keith last month if it was okay if I came and read something of somebody else's.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I wanted to do this was because in February I lost a good friend who is a very talented artist. His name is John Sokol. And he passed away February 12th. He's pretty well known for his paintings of people's writing. So he's Paula back here has his Virginia Woolf painting, and he takes a part of the writing and creates the figure, the face, or whatever of the person from the writing. You look at it, it's just incredible. But he was also a poet, and I met him at a bar, of course, called Larry's over on Market Street, and he was always a very lonely, lost soul. So I have two of his poems. The first one I'm going to do is Loneliness, and this really describes John as I knew him. Loneliness shakes you awake at dawn, wraps its hot hands around your neck, pulls you out of bed and sends you to work for some company, holds you back from others, and then shoves you into the iron knee of a crowd, invites you to dinner and makes you pay, takes you to the tavern and saves the seats beside you, starts you a tab, carries you home in its big arms, and spends the night.
Yeah.
Part of the reason John was such a tortured soul is he lost his soulmate very early on, and her name was Shelley, and she passed from breast cancer. And this book that he wrote is called In the Summer of Cancer, and it's pretty gripping. So this is Apologia. It's 2 parts. What did you mean when you bolted upright and muttered those last emphatic words? Persia, Persia, Persia. It was Christmas night. I should have let you die at home where the birds, and morning would have found you with me. For 19 months you had lived with dying, had submitted the cancer in your breast to every modern barrage. The 14 blue dot tattoos, mapping guides for the radiation that burned you black. The chemo in your arms that collapsed your veins. The drain shunt drilled through ribs in your back to release the fluid from your lungs as well as the pains. And me, lost, drunk, and perverse, explaining your suffering like a veteran nurse. After you died, I often saw your double, passing in a car in the other direction, or across the street at an intersection. Your slender silhouette, always unmistakable, but never in a way that I could have seen, as just tricks of the heart on the mind, as daydreams of the most delusional kind. Persia, Persia, Persia. What did you mean? Listen, my words can't buy or draw back time. These thoughts can't free me from this vest of sorrow and regret, nor from this pitiful rhyme. Despite all the grief I store in my chest, and all my days and nights lament, I can only guess what your last words meant. Thank you.
Really enjoyed that. Please give it up for Betsy. Yeah, feel free if you want to bring somebody else's work out. And I know I say poetry all the time because that's what I'm used to, but you also can bring songs and music and other things like that too when you come back. It is not just a mic where you can only do poetry, but bring other things too if you'd like. There are 3 more of us to go on the mic. You ready to go next? Yeah. Okay. All right, so she's one of my favorite people to be around. I just love the energy. Even when you're dropping things on the floor. It is always a pleasure. Please welcome back to the mic, Vaughn!
When you point things out, it bums me out.
Uh-oh.
Because I don't want them to know.
What was that I supposed to know? That you dropped things?
Yeah.
Oh, you
We
did?
all dropped things.
You didn't drop anything.
No, she saved my ass last time I was here. I knocked the whole table over and she
did it.
And she took the L for me because she's a good person.
You didn't knock nothing over.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This is more serious. Hold on.
Okay.
I was hanging out with my cousins, and I'm feeling a little hot girl right now. So, gotta get serious. My phone rings with the tone that people use when they need something. Not hello or how are you. Just a sigh shaped like my name. I am the ladder that no one remembers when they've made it to the top. The ride, the favor, the can you just. It's always just a minute, just a ride, just a little help. But the minutes start to stack like Friday night dishes on wing night, and the rides become mileage in my bones, and the help grows heavy in the pocket where my patients used to sit. And I'm tired of being the emergency contact. Tired of the sudden alarms that only ring for me. The way that people dial my number like I am a fire extinguisher behind glass, break in case of inconvenience. Meanwhile, my own small fires burn quietly in the corner while I'm busy putting out someone else's smoke. One day the phone will ring and I will let it. Not because I don't care, but because even ambulances go off duty when the tank is empty.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
not ready either.
I'm a clumsy girl, so I try to be so, like, concise. Love is a wild ride, and I keep riding shotgun with bad drivers. With one, we sped through every red flag. We took them as suggestions, and I told myself that the shaking's hands meant excitement, not loose wheels coming off the axle. Another one I drove with my eyes closed because they said they felt where the road would go. I wanted to believe them. Wanted divine leadership for our interaction, but instead we drifted over the line and they called the crash destiny. One kept checking the mirror for people who weren't in the car anymore. Missing every turn ahead, I kept checking the map, reassuring myself that there could be more than one way to arrive, while they insisted that maps ruined the adventure. Strange fact about wrecks. After enough of them, you start to recognize the sound of bad brakes before the hill. Now when someone says, trust me, I got us, I look for steady hands, a signal before turns, and someone who understands that love doesn't have to be a derby-style race. Flooring the gas, swinging damage and all in proximity. It's two people arriving with the car still whole.
Let's give it up again for Vaughn. There are 2 of us left, y'all. Not counting our teacher. Preference?
No preference.
All right. So please welcome Mike me, and then So I do have, last month, for those of us here, I had 3 new pieces, which has been a long time, so I had 3 new ones that I not read at this event. And I asked you to pick, and you picked 2, and that left 1, and I'm going to read that one. And then I'm happy to read a second one, but I have absolutely no clue, so if you have a preference, feel free.
Contraptual.
Oh, the contrapuntal?
Contrapuntal.
Contrapuntal.
I know it's got mad syllables. I love it.
Yeah.
Contrapuntal.
Do you want?
Contrapuntal.
All right, we'll figure out which one after this.
Flowers for the dead. Yeah.
Oh, the new one? Okay. We'll do that one. All right. Now I know what I'm doing next. So this one, I love y'all, and y'all know that, but I still gotta talk my shit sometimes. So feel free. I think it's funny. You can tell me. We can find out later, at least partly through here. How to eat meat, a step-by-step guide. Step 1, exit the womb. You laugh, but skip this step and you will fail miserably. Step 2, suck a boob, your mom's preferably. Learn what mammal milk is for, you'll forget later. Step 3, learn to eat with silverware. Your parents might make some weird airplane noises as they circle the spoon towards your mouth. Eat anyway. Step 4, feel the pressure of your incisors breaking through your gums. Endure. You'll forget the pain later. Step 5, one day the airplane will carry death to your mouth. You will not know. Your parents will still be smiling and making silly noises. Chew anyway. Step 6, you will be handed stuffed representations of cows or pigs or sheep, the same animals you will be unknowingly fed. Feel their softness. Carry them everywhere. Learn love. You'll forget later. Step 6, your parents will teach you the noises every barnyard animal makes. Learn to distinguish their voices. You'll forget to listen later. Step 7, years later you will learn where meat comes from. Cry. Feel your compassion. You'll forget to feel later. Step 8, listen to the soft reasoning of your parents as they tell you about the circle of life, or your need for protein, or how it will make you big and strong. Step 9, become a better reasoner than you were as a child. Step 10, optional. Watch videos of our food system. Discover the reality kept so deliberately hidden. Cry. Wait a couple days, or a couple hours, or a couple minutes, depending on how quickly you have learned to forget. Step 11, continue to chew on their bodies. Resign yourself that humans need meat to live. Step 12, meet someone who doesn't eat animals. Ask where they get their protein. When they say plants, laugh or call them extreme. Don't let your belief in necessity be swayed by evidence. Step 13, ignore the suffering. Ignore the environmental impact, ignore the cholesterol. Just focus on the fleeting taste in your mouth that will disappear not much later. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. It's funny at the beginning, okay, but maybe not hold it the whole way. But like the first 2 stanzas I think are funny, and then yeah, maybe not. So this one, at Vaughn's request, is a contrapuntal, and this one, I know I read this one here last time too. I will need my phone for it, but definitely don't have this memorized yet. But it talks about a couple things. Graves are weird to me still. Like I lost my stepdad when I was in my early 20s, and his grave is like 5 minutes from my house, and so it is the grave I visited the most, but it's still been years, and it is still always weird that we house people and put these signs, like it's not like they're there, not in any meaningful way. Like I've got pictures on my wall and things, and so combining that with the idea of, that I also think is a little weird, of how we grow beautiful flowers to cut them so they start to die, and then we could put them on our table and pretend we're outside instead of going outside. So this is a contrapuntal. If you're not familiar, 2 columns, first column down, second column down, and then third across. We don't live outside. You're welcome to come. I'm not saying you can't do those things. All I said is they're weird.
Hey, I'm not a nomad, man. I'm not living outside.
And this works.
She's not there.
Okay. I just turn my phone sideways or like my words go all messed up. Makes sense? Flowers. Flowers wilting. Life slips away whether we look or not. Here in the ground, this field of dandelions. Weeds ignored. Cut carnations instead. Shortened lives on full display. All I've got is dying flowers. For the dead. At your grave. Memories that aren't really here before me. You aren't just your name carved out in stone above countless bones and worms, like emptiness placed on granite. Sadness in my eyes for the grave of the dead. Flowers for the dead. Flowers at your grave, wilting memories that aren't really here. Life slips away before me whether we look or not. You aren't here. Just your name in the ground carved out in stone. This field of dandelions above countless bones and worms, like weeds. Emptiness ignored. Cut carnations placed instead on granite. Shortened lives. Sadness on full display in my eyes. All I've got is dying flowers for the grave of the dead. Thank you. Thanks for the applause. So that means we have one more poet to the open mic, and then we get our feature back up here after that. This is the poet who walks in the room and says, just call me whenever. And so this became whenever tonight. Please welcome to the mic. Let me try that again. Please welcome to the mic, our Lansing.
Everybody feeling good?
Yeah.
Cool, I'm about to fix all that. I've been processing some things and I'm going to take you on a little journey with me.
Oh, yeah.
This is something I wrote this afternoon called I Suppose You Could Not Either. It was just past 3 in the morning when the phone rang. I looked at the clock, watched the number sag under the weight of my mother's voice, watched time freeze. It could not bear to keep going. I suppose you could not either. Digits refused to flip. The seconds poured thick and viscous from the corner of the clock. My mother could not bear to fill the air with words that splinter time, immobilize worlds. She asked to speak to the only other person in our small apartment at the time. I handed the tiny rectangle of apocalypse to the other set of sleepy hands. The walls pressed in like lungs and waited. But the minutes would not turn. I was held hostage by recognition and refusal. Couldn't bear the weight of hands curling under pressure. I suppose you couldn't either. I watched dust gather, unaware of the stillness. The shadows of 3 a.m. beckoned with their grim reaper finger, bending the shapes of numbers in inhuman directions. They spoke in murmurs, words I knew, though I could not hear them. Eventually, the small brick went dark, and the minutes spilled like sand, and I could not bear the ticking. I suppose you could not either. I cannot remember what came next. The world crackled like a bad connection, and you were lost in the disconnect. A voice cut off by a single sound that fractured the night. You were not there when the clock remembered its purpose, when moments found their footing again. I waited for time to return, but the seconds slipped from the face of the clock. I have been out of rhythm since, lost in the space between breaths. I cannot bear the noise of asynchronous ticking. I suppose you could not either. I suppose you could not either.
Yeah. Excellent. Give it up for our Lansing. So we have one last minute addition to the open mic. Yeah, somebody who has been one of the best supporters of this event for the entirety of its run here at almost every single one since we started this. We'll be here tomorrow night with the guitar up on this stage as well. First Thursday of the month, you can always find him here. Please welcome to the mic, Jim Ballard!
As some of you know, I usually have a guitar hanging in front of me, and I think I created a poem over here a little while ago when I revealed it. In any case, I have, I'll keep it short, but I have never liked bullies. And we have some bullies running around the country right now. And I just wrote a song recently. We're just in the middle of still recording it and overdubbing it and getting it ready to come out. So it's not a song yet. Tomorrow I will play it just with my guitar, but tonight I'm going to talk it to you.
All right.
This is called Let Go These Prisoners. I wanted to ask you, did you sleep well last night? Were you safe? Were you warm in the arms of the ones you love? Or did you hear a rustle outside your window? Beyond the hedges and the edges and the sky and the stars above? It won't scroll. Here we go. Let go these prisoners taken by these mercenaries. Bring back these fathers, release these sons, till the gates of heaven sing, till the skies are opening. Send up your offering, pray for these ones. When they come for your brother, when they come for your friend, will the whistles and the cries be enough to turn them away? If you say nothing, close your eyes till it ends. Will they spirit you away, disappear you at the end of the day? Let go these prisoners taken by these mercenaries who bend a knee to this naked king. Hear these mothers' cries, dry these children's eyes. Let the muted bells of freedom ring. Let go these prisoners taken by these mercenaries, leg irons tossed aside, bound hands released. So to wrap their arms around the ones whose voices sound, to bring them home unbound and welcomed in peace. Let go these prisoners taken by these mercenaries. Bring back these fathers. Release these sons. Till the gates of heaven spring. Till the skies are opening. Send up your offering. Pray for these ones.
I look forward to hearing that in song. Give it up for Jim Ballard. I lied, y'all, because we're going to bring one more up to the open mic because I knew you were coming and then I didn't see you and now you were here and I want to hear you and some other people want to hear you and you're wearing your hoodie and so like how can I not call you up? So please welcome to the mic, Arianna! I know.
I wasn't late last time, and when I got there, I was like, what do you want me to say?
Y'all let him know.
What do you want me to say?
Is this not accurate? Okay, let me be quick. All right. I'm out of breath, and y'all saw me hop up here.
Athletics.
Yeah. Y'all not ready. Okay, I'm gonna get my pose in.
You wanted to throw them 90s knees so bad. You wanted to throw them so damn bad.
Gas was at a reasonable price in 1991. I'm just saying.
Sexuals. That's sexuals right there. Because that's valid. That's such a responsibility.
Okay, I'm gonna do a poem and then I'm gonna not be on the stage anymore. Okay. So
I wrote this poem about my ex because I wrote a poem.
Yeah.
That's what we do. You get it. You get it. You know. And therapy was like $360 a session.
Poetry was free.
Okay. You always fancied yourself a seedsman. Me, a giving flower. Self-sustaining me, unbothered by the dryness of your soil. So I wish myself to be less dandy and more rose for you. A damsel in search of a gardener instead, I became a bouquet of wilted hands. Unlearned how to bloom for fear of being a weed. Believe my love was invasive, cause it be everywhere. Yellow lions roaring across your lawn. Ain't I a dandelion? A healer tap-rooted in minerals. How was it a weed when you met me crumbled and reduced to a shell of a woman gaslit to get you higher? Not enough rose hip in this rap. I can't be no houseplant. I won't be your favorite flower with ideas springing from my afro. Seated wisdom blown out like the last part of a wash day. The exhale at the start of a blunt. Oral history for your taste buds. See, I got the juice spilling from the sap beneath my skin. You broke my skin to drink of me because you were thirsty. I let a man unearth me. Planted a narrative about who I am. Treated me like my petals ain't pretty petals. Too gargoyle to be in his orchard. A broken man taints the ground, insulting the one thing that sustains it. A poet with no words is still a poet. A woman without a man to love her properly is still a woman, still thriving. Incredible even, like a dandelion.
Arianna is featuring here the first Wednesday in June, which is only 2 away. So come back to hear more of that. Next month, we have 2 of Detroit's best. Ari Lane and P the Poet are coming down to joint feature. So come back for that too. But most importantly tonight, we've got one more set. I don't know what else I want to say because I've said a lot, but always a pleasure. First set was amazing. One of the things that I really enjoy about when I hear Raja's work over and over is listening to the crowd react. Like when I know the words and I know what's coming, especially the way that you start poems, just conversationally so often that the crowd people who aren't familiar don't yet know you're in the middle of a poem, but I know, because I know the word, like I know you're in the middle of a poem, and just hearing the recognition of the crowd once they figure out, like, oh shit, she's already started. One of the cool things I like, but amazing work. You've shared a couple of my favorites already, and I know you got some stuff I've not heard, a couple already, and then some more in the second set. Whatever you are bringing, I'm so excited to hear it. Please welcome back to the mic, Raja Belle Freeman!
Was it the little white girl's fault that the only black people she'd ever seen were on Fat Albert? No. Was it the little white girl's fault that she was confused when she got black neighbors? Probably not, but perhaps. Was it the little white girl's fault that she asked the new neighbor boy why he was dirty? Yes. This would be rude even if he was dirty. Was it the little white girl's fault that she told this story to her middle school students each year after she grew up without question? See, my teacher had a way with stories. She knew how to pluck you right out of your desk and place you where she'd been. She told us she met Obama once. And because of her gift for storytelling, I can still feel his hand shaking mine. This time, though, felt like a glitch. I was lifted out of my seat like always, weightless on a flight through time, but I wasn't in her shoes like I'd wanted. I was this supposed dirty boy, feeling the weight of the moment, pulling my jaw towards the pavement.
Wow.
goes back to my theme of people just saying stuff to me. She's like, I couldn't believe it. I'd only ever seen Fat Albert. I'm like, why are you telling me that? Why are you telling any of us that? I feel like teachers always had like a really weird energy toward. We had a substitute gym teacher, and she came in and she made us all do like push-ups, and then she walks over to me and she turns to the class and she says, "This little girl's gonna do 5 extra push-ups." What? She never explained why. I did 5 more, but I don't know why. She made me do 5 more. This was a different teacher. It's not the same teacher, to be clear. I have really weird teachers. This is a little embarrassing. I wet myself. I was 5. It's not as embarrassing, I hope.
Right.
And my teacher was like, "Don't worry, you can borrow some of my panties." What?
911.
Why do you have these? I had this French teacher in high school, and he gave us this assignment to bring in a dish from our country of origin. And I was like, I raised my hand in concern for like this obvious problem here, because like I spat out something loud and full of young black rage about how the blackness in my skin knows nothing of its homeland. And my French teacher said, "Just bring guacamole." Because he really likes guacamole. And since no one in the class was Mexican, and I was the only one so caught up in the gaping plot hole in my origin story that I should just relax and bring guacamole. I don't know if you could say that I was acting in rebellion, or trying to be funny, or being angry for the sake of being angry. But I carried a half-eaten bag of Apple Jacks to school that day. I did not bring the box. I did not bring the milk. I only bought the bag. I said my origin is a lot like this cereal. Packed tight, sealed, shipped, and sugar-coated.
She just gonna read another fire one, like she didn't. Right? I need a minute to digest. That's effortless.
Everyone take a moment. I did not bring Apple Jacks with me today.
And I did not bring cookies.
No snacks?
So what's that feeling? Feeling great?
What? No cookies, no Apple Jacks? Like, God. Keith is mad at us for eating burgers. Oh, gosh. Not to make a weird pivot from what I just said, but 3 dead deer are sprawled out in the middle of Lawrenceville Center. Limbs stretched out dramatically, posed like a Renaissance painting. One's ass, I see, has become a big red pancake, flat and bright crimson, like a target for a car to hit it again. Its tongue hung gummied from its blood-stained mouth, like a worm poking its head out from a Fuji apple. There's really no way not to stare on my walk home from the store, especially when I have to get close to cross the street. Yesterday there was 1 deer grave here. On my way to the store, there were 2. And now here on my walk home, I find 3. People are unique in our need to find decency for our dead. The way we hide them in the earth like our dirtiest secrets, so we won't have to see which parts of them the rot will take hold of first. We're funny, in the way we try to embellish the dying process like it's special, like it doesn't happen every day. Like the rituals and prayers make death any less of a brutal and hideous, soul-snatching sadist, ready to take hold of you, just as fast as it can take hold of 3 deer in the road. I'm almost done. I feel like I should have bought more poems, dang.
Yeah, you should have. Yeah, you're on fire.
You got more poems.
I'm on fire? Oh my god! Someone please!
Crisis writing number 48.
Uh-oh, I'm on fire. Someone please. The last few years have been kind of full of a lot of loss for me. You know what? Quentin, give me the phone.
It bends?
It does. It's a flip.
It's a Game Boy Advance.
It's a flip.
I would have believed that immediately.
It's the first phone to flip open ever. See?
Okay, so
I just decided I want to read this poem that is in my notes app somewhere. Please hold. Are you holding?
Holding.
Has anyone let go? Please do not fall. Hold on to the ledge.
Arms and legs inside.
Okay, I found it. I don't even know if this one's good or not. I read it out loud one time in my bedroom to my fiance. So, might not be good. But we've been dealing with a lot of loss, a lot of grief. I was in a performance review at work, and my manager was like, "Have you been through a lot lately? It seems like your performance is dipping." And I was like, "There's just been a lot of grief." And my manager was like, "Okay, I'm gonna get off of the call now." That's unfortunate. I'm sorry. But this one is for a friend. I didn't even know her that well, but I found out through the comment section of one of my old boss's Facebook post, and I could go on about that guy forever. He is insane. Anyway.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Sorry. I'm gonna start the poem now. Okay. Last I saw you, we were laughing together. I can only assume the last time I turned and walked away from you, that the moment you were out of my sight, vines rose from the earth, wrapped you tight, and fed you to the soil. I can only assume light swallowed you whole. I can only assume you became one with the air, your last breath traipsing off the edge of a beating bird wing before carrying a dandelion seed off to a new beginning. We bury a tiny bit of history with each one of our dead, sewing the bit of truth only they'd know into their palms, or tucking it between their teeth like gum, perhaps even melting it down and mixing it in with the embalming fluid, or sending it off with a kiss before tucking it into their sleeve. I worked on a portrait of my grandfather for 1.5 years, built his face out of ink dots, stabbing my page with a pen like a woodpecker, until the man I'd known my whole life was in the room with me, staring up from the page. I was not there. For the moment when he saw the picture that I had drawn for him, my uncle was the only one there. My uncle told me how my grandfather smiled, just for a moment, when he saw how my paper had become his mirror. And now I figure, when they prepared my uncle's body for the casket. That particular smile from that particular moment was neatly folded in my uncle's pocket. Or perhaps when they prepared the body, they let my uncle try that blink of a smile on for size. Perhaps that is why at his funeral he had this faint grin. Perhaps my grandfather recognized how his own smile was borrowed by his son and reflected back up at him one last time. Sorry, that's really sad. I'm gonna end on. Okay. This one's not. It's about the end of the world. It's fine.
Breaks legs.
I was like, I'm gonna end on a sweeter note, but no, it's got sweeter language. It's about the end of the world. But thank you guys so much for doing my last poem. Thank you, because I'm going to walk off the stage really dramatically, so I'm not going to. But thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. You've been a really great audience, and thank you for. Did everyone in here share almost? Did you want to share anything? Are you sure? You shared food, drinks. That matters.
We'll get Quentin next time.
We'll get Quentin next time. Quentin shares his love, and that's all I need.
Aww. Beautiful.
Aww. There have been a lot of different theories on how the world is going to end because of some man-made catastrophe. Like nukes, or climate change, or coronavirus, but personally, I don't like the sound of those. I think they're all just a little too cliche. I think if I had to write the end of the world, I'd have a curious black child running their thumb across the horizon until they found the edge of a smooth strip of tape. And they'd start scraping at it with their nail until it peeled away. And there'd be nothing holding the sky to the earth anymore. And the world would just peel back like the top of a convertible. No flames, no sickness, nothing nefarious. Just everything collapsing into our baby's hands.
Yeah.
Dramatically in your way.
But like, and then you were, oh my goodness, let me move. Okay.
Let's give it up again for Belle Freeman. I know this is more your story, but I'm going to tell this for a second too. So it was, Raja was in a writing class, COVID hit, world shuts down. Raja had to keep writing anyway, which I believe, if my story is accurate, that you feel kind of unfair, world's ending, I have to keep writing. So Raja wrote, I don't know how many goddamn crisis writings. Every title was crisis writing, partly in defiance of having to keep writing. You just heard crisis writing 19 that she ended on. And we were chatting a few days ago about this, and you mentioned, like, have you heard the poem I wrote about bringing cereal to school? And like, it's a crisis writing. I'm like, wait, what? So it's like, the world is fucked, the world is ending, and I brought cereal to school. But damn, was that powerful. Really enjoyed that. Fantastic set, fantastic, both sets.
That was awesome.
Yeah. So, We will be back next month. Ari Lane and P the Poet both coming down from Detroit. Would love to have any or all of you back for that. I know that might be less possible for some of y'all. Share some love for Raja in the pot verbally. Say some weird shit to Raja so she can write more poems. I mean, whatever.
That's what I do.
Yeah, that's how she thrives in road. People come up and say weird shit, and then you gotta write. So put yourself in a poem. Let's give it up for the Rialto Theatre. We have sKai back there. Love these guys so much. So appreciative of y'all. Give it up for everybody who touched the open mic. So many voices. Fantastic job up there. For the others in the room, I know most of you touched the mic, but not everybody. Give it up for the others in the room as well. Energy was fantastic. Last, certainly not least, give it up one last time for Raja Belle Freeman.